Hello and welcome to another episode of Thriving Talk. We are back after a gap of few months. I think it was the last episode was episode 46.
Yeah.
We wanted to stop after the season 1 after doing 50 episodes, but unfortunately summer came and we got so busy with a lot of things. So normally Tim starts off these Thriving Talk episodes by giving an introduction, but this time I'm doing it because we are back after a long time, and also we are making a change this time that normally we don't do video, but on YouTube and other places where video is available, this episode is available via video. So I have started. So Tim, how are you doing? Do you want to give your typical introduction with all the details before we go ahead?
I can do that. So, welcome to Thriving Talk, and it's been a while, but we're excited to be back, and we're going to start posting episodes again. A reminder, all Thriving Talk will be posted on all the different platforms like YouTube, Spotify, Google Podcasts, all those different platforms. On YouTube, there will be videos, so you can access and make sure to follow Thriving Talk, so you can go listen it anywhere.
So let me ask you, what is Thriving Talk all about? Put you on the spot. As a host, you should know what this podcast is all about.
It's a podcast it's to help others and
Yeah, so we normally talk about relevant topics, spiritual topics which are very practical. We have dealt with topics like time management, life management, and we have also spoken about other experiences from life too. So that's our goal. We want this to be a podcast where you will be able to hear and get some things which will help you to thrive in your life. So we have Thriving Talk as our podcast, and also have a newsletter called as Thriving, newsletter, which goes nowadays once in a month. It used to be every week, when it went to once in 2 weeks. But as I got engaged in different projects, I now do it once in a month, where we share a lot of resources, and also I share what is going on in my mind on different things. So that's another thing. So for those who are maybe listening for the first time, Thriving Talk is there to provide you resources and the things which will help you to thrive in your life, in all aspects of your life. So today, I know there is no particular topic, right?
Yeah.
It's just the episode is called as We Are Back.
Yeah.
Are you nervous about this whole video thing?
Little nervous because it's new, but...
Yeah, but always remember, you are on the video, so be careful. And, you need to stay a little back.
Okay.
Anyway, so let's get started. I would let you go ahead and take us through what you want to talk today, because normally it's you who asks these questions.
Yes.
And I already started with asking you some questions. So
yes.
It's now your turn.
So today's episode is called We Are Back. And so today we're basically just going to talk about our summer and different places we went. And it was a busy summer, so we would like to share what we did in the summer. So we're going to start off by... first thing in the summer was me and my sister went to Philadelphia, and that was the first travel for the summer. So we went there for 3 weeks, and our grandparents lived there. And
was it really fun?
Yeah, it was really fun. We went to some places, and it was a good time. And while we were in Philadelphia, my dad went to India. So you want to share about India and what you did there, what you learned, and
okay. So yeah, this was my second international trip this year. In July, I went to India for a week.
Yeah.
which is crazy. So I think I was there only 5 days, but including travel, probably 7, 8, 9 days of total. I think I left on a Sunday evening, actually left the country on a Monday morning, and I was back here on the next Tuesday. So it was a little over a week that I was traveling. It was a great experience because I was going to India after a while. And then I basically went because somebody invited me to conduct their wedding. So it was a time experience, and also in the regional language I had to do that service, so it was a double challenge, and so it was good. I enjoyed every moment of that one, and plus I think the trip also had a lot of what I would call as divine appointments. I was able to meet people. Some things were not planned at all, but randomly it came up, and it was a great blessing. And I think the best part was, even though it was a tiring trip physically, I never felt that tired, and I survived the entire trip. No sickness, nothing. Everything was good, and I was able to also be at a church and minister or preach on Sunday, and then also met so many people, as I said. Went on a road trip covering many places. That was it was not a planned road trip. I had to go to meet somebody, but it turned out to be a road trip. We would stop in the middle and drink tea and other things on the street. It was a real good experience for me. And then it all together, it was a very hectic trip, but very much interesting, and a very I would say a trip which I enjoyed. But I wish I had more days, but
jam-packed trip.
Jam-packed, very jam-packed. So I could not even overcome my jet lag, I think, because at night I will be awake, but during the day it's all busy. So it was mostly very less sleep, and mostly very hectic schedule. But it was a good time.
Yes. So yeah, by what you said, it sounded like you had lots of good time there, and divine appointments, and
so I was able to meet some people where I was not expecting, so it was good. I've also visited the headquarters of the ministry I am part of, ICPF, and I also was able to meet our founder, spend some time with him, and also meet some other people. So it was altogether a very, very enjoyable trip in my view.
So okay, so right after so we came back, and then my dad came back the next day from India, and like I don't even know if we had like a 2-week break, probably like a 1-week break, I would say.
No, I came like on Tuesday, and then that Saturday again drove to Chicago for attending a funeral, and then the next Wednesday we started the next trip. So
yeah,
it was
so like a week. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the next like my dad said, that Saturday he had to go to Chicago, and then he took a road trip, and then like that Wednesday we started our almost like 15-hour road trip to Oklahoma and Dallas. So you want to tell what we went for? And like,
why should I tell? You are also part of it, right?
True. Yeah, I can tell. So we went for the Sharon Fellowship, CNA National Conference, and my dad preached the first session there. And you want to tell what you spoke about?
Yeah, so I think it was a good trip. We took a halt at the middle, but
Kansas City.
We drove.
Slept a night.
So it was a very long drive, but it was okay. We went there. Yeah, I think it was good that I got the opportunity to speak in the first session of the first message of that conference. I shared my testimony because there were literally hundreds of people who had prayed for me in that conference. It was a well-attended conference, a big conference actually, hundreds and hundreds of people. But then the topic given to me was about, the overall theme of the conference was return to God and rejoice in hope from the book of Hosea. And the theme given to me, or the topic given to me, was about God is healing, binding, restoring. So I spoke about that. I think the main things I spoke was about how God allows situations in our life, sometimes unexpected. And sometimes those situations are there because God wants to catch our attention and bring us back, right? There are reasons like that where it's more for restoration. That's what we see in the Bible. Then there are also situations which are not because of that, but it's because God is preparing us. It's unexpected, and it is to fine-tune us, as Jesus said, He will prune you so that you will become more fruitful, right?
Yeah.
So there are situations like that. And then finally, there are also situations where we may not see a resolution on this side. It will be on the other. What I mean by that is, sometimes, but our hope is not based on what we get here. So I was able to share that it was a good time. But after that, I also say that, all the sessions, all the preachers, all the speakers, they were excellent. It was a feast of the Word of God, and everything was excellent. I also had an opportunity to participate in a talk show along with my wife, and it was a session in which some young people were asking us questions about our experience. I was able to share how you should be talking to somebody who's going through a difficult situation in their life based on what I have experienced. And
Yes.
she was actually asked questions from the perspective of a caregiver or somebody who was dealing with, their husband or spouse going through some challenging times. So it was indeed a blessed time we had in Oklahoma.
Yes.
So it was hot.
Yeah, it was really hot.
Yeah, but otherwise I think the overall theme of return to God and rejoice in hope, it was very much evident and amplified in the entire conference. I think there were many moments where I myself was challenged. How about you? You are in the English session, right? How was it?
English session was great. There were many speakers, and they were talking about same thing, return to God and rejoice in hope, and worship was great, and overall it was a great conference.
You also had a concert by some
Oh
Grammy
yeah,
Award
concert.
winner.
Yes, Alton Eugene. He's from the band of Maverick City. So he came to the conference and he was a guest. And on Friday and Saturday, he had concerts there. So I attended one of them. And
Yeah, I was there for one.
Yes. So
I could not dance, but
yeah, he told us to come to the front. So we had to be
anyway.
dancing.
Yeah. So anything you learned during your sessions, the preaching or messages? Nothing?
I learned a lot, but
So anything which stood out? Because you were telling me that the sessions were good. Anything you remember? I know it's few months now.
2 months now. Well, they were talking about the same theme, return to God and rejoice in hope, how God is binding us, and they talked about that same topic, and they had different sessions in the morning which they were talking about different things that are going around in the world, and situations, and how to deal with different situations.
Yeah. Good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So from there we went to Dallas. There was
Yes.
a meeting arranged by ICPF, and so we drove and we went there, and then I think in the conference there were also kids session,
Yeah.
and that was good. Anyway,
Yeah.
so we drove to Dallas. We attended the meeting, and then we came back the very next day. So that was good.
That was also a jam-packed trip.
Yeah, so we drove all the way back continuously, and we came back. So
So during the conference, you I would say you weren't thinking or imagining this, but you were entrusted a new responsibility. So you want to talk about that and share what?
okay, got it. What you're referring to? Yeah, so I went to this conference just to attend and just to be a blessing. But so long story short, I will tell you that I got a new responsibility. And initially I was shocked by that, but later I realized that maybe it's from the Lord, and I just committed myself to do that. So during our General Assembly or in that meeting, I wasn't there actually. Then I went there later, and then finally it all happened. I want to just say that I didn't go after that, but the entire people requested. So they had appointed me as a president for the organization for the next 2 years.
Yeah.
So because of that, that's a new responsibility. It's not for the conference. A lot of people are still confused. Sometimes people think that I have become a convener or president for the conference. No, it's for the churches. So we have desire and a vision to plant new churches and expand the ministry. So I've been given that responsibility. There is a team who have come along, and so it has been there. So the initial days were all busy with a lot of press release, the news coming in most of the papers, and I also had to give an interview. Maybe we should do a episode on that one, because I shared some of the very important things over there. So that was also something which happened. So I came to this leadership responsibility. One more thing, along with what I am doing in other places. So that was a surprise, big surprise. It took that day I could not even digest that. So it was only the next day that I was.
Yeah, you said like you weren't accepting any
first day when people were congratulating me, I was not even accepting it. But then the next day when I prayed about it, and I got a verse, Acts chapter 6, verse 8, and then after that I was at peace with it. So on Sunday I actually accepted that and said, okay, we'll do what we can do in the next couple of years. So I believe it. Now I believe that it is something God entrusted, and just do what you can do.
Yeah. So we're gonna wrap up the episode. So do you have any final thoughts or anything you want to add from the summer or
Oh, I thought you will have more questions, because after we came back from Dallas, there were more things going on.
True. Yeah.
So I almost the one day when I got a Saturday a little bit free, I almost felt like I got a day after so many months to just sit down, right?
Yeah.
It's been a busy summer. Not only the things we shared here, but there has been so many other things. Also, don't forget, in a local church, there has been a lot of things. Picnic, that event, this event, and in ICPF where I'm involved, there are also a lot of activities, a lot of things going on. So it was a very busy summer, but a good one. So we were able to basically take a break. And we were able to break from these things, but I think now we have to come back and do the Thriving Talk and all other stuff, and I have to basically focus on my writing too, and then so I have to focus on those things. So I think through the travel and everything, I learned many things. One of the things I learned is definitely that God has a timing and God has a plan and purpose, and we don't need to run behind everything. And there is a verse in the Bible which says, you basically focus on the things of the Lord, right? And then mercies of God is going to follow you throughout your life. So all the responsibilities I have taken so far in my life, I have never gone behind anything. So, but I also understand that there are times in my own life where I have said, Lord, whatever you give to me, I'm committing to do that, right? So I feel like a lot of times it is more like, okay, God has given me this opportunity, and I just need to take that up and just do it, right? And so I'm just going to say one thing I want to mention. So the day I was I got this appointment to this new leadership responsibility was exactly 2 years after I had my diagnosis.
Wow.
Right. 2021, July 28th is then when I got the results. So this was 2023, July 28th. So what I'm going to say is, there are times in our life where probably we feel like everything is over. It's done. But I want to tell you once again that nothing is done. Nothing is over, right? Unless and until God has a purpose for your life, you will come back, right?
Yeah.
And God has greater plans, greater things. And I can tell you in the last 2 years, a lot of things I've been engaged in now and doing now. It has been like way more than, different than what I've been, rather than saying way more, I would say very different assignments.
Yeah.
And I was recently also invited to join the pastoral team for a citywide movement for something. So there has been a lot of things going on. So one thing I just want to tell you, if anybody is listening to me and thinking that things are over, you don't have a comeback, you may be in a situation where you don't feel like something good will come out. I want to give you this assurance. No, it's not over. God is not done with you. Sometimes when we go through situations, God is preparing us and He is making us we need to yield and move forward.
Yes, like we don't need to feel like we're done, but we need to have that assurance that God's not done with this, and He'll continue to use us.
He can change any situation.
Yes.
Right. He can bring water in the desert. He can change our situations, and He can give us health back. He can give us the energy back, and if we are in submitting ourselves into His hands, He can. So this year, after all the sickness and recovery and everything, the fact that I traveled 3 weeks in Africa and I was able to travel 1 week, then all this travel and everything, and still God's strength in my life, this is all awesome and wonderful. So this is what I think is the one of the thing, So our episode is called as We Are Back. I want to tell you, God can bring you back.
Yes.
Let me just tell you this. You may feel you're over or done, but God can bring you back, and God will bring you back. Let's move forward with that hope and expectation.
Yes. So thank you for sharing, and I hope what my dad told and it was an encouragement to you all. Like, God's not done with you. We don't need to feel like that, but God has a purpose and something to do with all of us, and God can change any situation in seconds. So we need to just have trust in Him and believe in Him.
Yeah. Okay, we will come back with the next episode.
Yes.
We'll talk in some topics now. Back,
yes. So
right? It won't be a general one.
We're officially back now.
Yeah. So it won't be general, and we will see how this goes. The video and everything, how this goes.
Yeah.
It's a new thing for us.
Yeah.
And then I'm also happy that earlier it was just you and me, and we have been joined by one more person in our team. So my daughter has joined now, and she's the one who is behind the camera, and she's the one who is recording and showing some, So she's also part of the team now.
Yes.
So someday when it's the appropriate time, maybe we should bring her and ask her some questions. But so thank you for joining our team, and we are growing. So thank you all once again, and as Tim mentioned in the beginning, Thriving Talk is available on all major podcast platforms, iTunes, Google Podcast, and you name it, it should be there. And our hope is that this episode was an encouragement for you, even though we were just sharing about our experiences. But we will come back, and we will be coming back with more exciting topics. So thank you all. God bless you all and be with you. Remember, we are back. But you will also be back.
Yes.
And you may be down today, but God has a plan and purpose, and God will bring you back.
Yes.
And God bless you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.